Hello and welcome to Byte Size Tech. I am your host Rogue, and today's video is brought to you by eWin Racing, the best source for gaming chairs and desks for those long gaming sessions. We do have a playlist of our eWin chairs and desk videos linked in the video description below, but most of all, save 30% of everything using the discount code TechTeals, and we do have more details at the end of this video.
Ryan comes in today with a question about value relative to two different video cards at different price points. And he asks...
He did have a 3080 Ti and he traded it down to a 3070 Ti. And at the Micro Center, the 3080 Ti was $1,399, $1,400, and the 3070 Ti was $799 or $800. And he wants to know if he made a smart decision. He plays 1080p Warzone, and he currently... he did have a 1660 Super.
Well, now that's a question. Let's back up a second. Let's ignore what he has. Let's ignore what he did. Let's ignore the upgrades and downgrades and everything else. Let's answer a very simple question right up front. Is the RTX 3080 Ti worth $600 more than a 3070 Ti? It depends. But let me give you a couple of boundaries to explain where it might be and where it might not be. So the 3070 Ti is basically an enhanced 3070, faster than a 3070, less than a 3080. That's probably evident to most people. It has 8 gigs of GDDR6X, so it's got the faster RAM of the 3080, but it's got the lower RAM count of the 3070. It's kind of in the middle. Nice card. The 3080 Ti is basically a 3090 with a trivial minor difference to the overall clocks and everything else on the card, but the biggest difference is it has half the VRAM. 12 gigs of VRAM instead of 24. So you can basically think of a 3080 Ti as a 3090 with half the VRAM. And LHR, but we won't get into that in this video. So the price points given is $800 and $1,400. And that's important because if somebody were to find the 3070 Ti for $500 and the 3080 Ti for $1,400, or if they were both way more expensive, it's going to alter the value equation because the zero starting point matters. Correct. How much over zero are they costing? I actually don't mind either of those prices. It's probably about where they are in the market today. It's fine. $800 buys you a 3070 Ti that's faster than the old RTX 2080 Ti. It's a fast card. It does only have 8 gigs of VRAM, but he's playing at 1080p, so that doesn't really matter. I mean, it's at 1440p and 4K that the VRAM is really much more of a limitation.
Correct.
And a 3070 Ti is a huge upgrade over a 1660 Super, but let's take his previous, pretend he had no video card at all. The 3080 Ti is going to be way faster now and in the long run than a 3070 Ti for not double the money. But relatively speaking, it is still like 70% more money. $800 to $1,400, he's not doubling the 800, but it's close.
It is close.
So it's 75% more, actually, if the math in my head is correct. So for 75% more, does he get 75% more performance?
No.
No. He also doesn't get 75% more VRAM because it's 12 over 8, and so it's 50% more VRAM.
Correct.
However, he plays Warzone.
He does.
Somebody who plays Warzone, I am assuming who buys that level of hardware, probably has a 144 hertz, if not 240 hertz monitor, especially at 1080p if you're competitive. Now, if you have a 1080p 60, frankly, your 1660 Super is enough.
Yeah, why are you upgrading?
But a 3070 Ti is fine. When you buy a nicer card, you get enhanced performance now. You get the ability to crank up the details. You get a higher total frame rate. You get a better average frame rate. Usually you get a better 1% low frame rate, although that is CPU dependent. If a CPU is weak, then that would hold back any video card you put in, because 1% lows often are CPU dependent in addition to GPU dependent.
Right.
Let's say, for the sake of discussion, his 3070 Ti would last him for his use case for 3 years. Mm-hmm. But the 3080 Ti, with its 35 to 40% more performance, would last him 4.5 years. I think it'll do more than a year more. I don't know that it'll last him 5 years. Yeah. I don't think any video card does 5 years very well, maybe at 1080p. But think of it this way. Let me give you a real-world scenario. 1070, 1080 Ti. If you had bought a 1070 for $400 in 2016 versus a 1080 Ti for $700, which is almost exactly the same, 75% more money.
Yes.
Look at their performance today. A 1070 works, but it's pretty slow these days. A 1080 Ti is a great 1080p card. If he had spent the money 5 years ago for the 1080 Ti, he'd have spent about 75% more money. But he still has a rocking card 5 years later.
Correct.
But if he had spent the $400 for a 1070, so part of that $700 you're spending is for epic performance today. And then the other part is it shoves out your upgrade. And here's another point to consider. What is a 1070 worth today? And what is a 1080 Ti worth today? Now, it's not as big of a price difference as it was back then, but let's say it's half. It was $300 back then. Let's say it's $150 today. I actually think it's closer to $200, but let's say it's $150 today.
Right.
If the residual value of the cards, let's say that $800 card in 5 years is worth $300, and his $1,400 card is worth $700.
Okay.
That's a $400 difference. Even if it's a $350 difference. I actually believe buy the best card that your wallet will tolerate. Buy the best video card you can afford. You'll get part of the value in epic, super amazing performance today. Even if it's overkill, you will get the best longevity, and you will get the best resale value when you go flip the card to go buy something else. You don't save much by buying a mid-level card. I actually think the mid-level cards... Do you remember that video we made saying nobody should buy an RTX 3070?
I do remember that, yes.
Do you want to know something? I was right. Because it's not bad today, but the relative cost to go to a 3080 or 3080 Ti between longevity, between epic experience of gaming performance, the extra VRAM, and the resale value down the road... What are you saving? If you divide all of that out, let's say for the sake of discussion that his 5-year cost between those two cards, assuming he kept them 5 years, he might not.
Right.
Let's say it's half of the difference. It's $600 difference today. It's $300. What's $300 divided by 5 years?
60?
$60. What's $60 divided by 12 months?
$5?
For $5 a month, you can spend the next 5 years enjoying a 3080 Ti with 12 gigs of GDDR6X versus a 3070 Ti with 8 gigs of GDDR6X. I would argue that if you're trying to decide between an $800 video card to play games with and a $1,400 video card to play games with, $5 a month, buy the 3080 Ti. Having said that, he's playing at 1080p. If Warzone is mostly what he plays, a 3070 Ti is a huge upgrade over a 1660 Super, and he'll be fine. He'll just have to, at some point, for some reason, some game, upgrade a little bit sooner than he would if he had a 3080 Ti.
Correct.
And if he is short of money and he can use that $600 now to pay down debt or put into savings, that's fine too. That's,
reasonable.
Or take your wife out to a great steak dinner.
Smoldering look.
There you go.
There you go. Right in End Time Junior.
So was that a thorough and complete answer?
5027. I believe so.
Could I have run that horse down any more? I like that answer. I think that's a fair answer.
I think it's a fair answer too.
eWin Racing has a wide selection of chairs to fit all shapes and sizes of gamers, ranging from petite to cuddly. They have something for every type of gamer. Not just sizes, but colors and material options as well, including red, blue, purple, pink, orange, and many more, plus cloth and leather choices to boot. We have over half a dozen chair and desk videos in a special playlist down in the video description below. We also have a special offer just for Tech Deals viewers. Save 30% 10% off of everything using the discount code TECHDEALS using our link in the video description below. We have personally used eWin gaming chairs for 3 years in our office, sitting on them for up to 8 hours during live streams. They are very comfortable, and we are happy to work with eWin to bring you this special discount and recommend eWin for all your gaming chair and desk needs.